Welcome to Under the Marquee. I'm your host, Matthew Gonzalez, and boy Umberto, do we have a show for you today. Our guest is Mr. Jordan Matthew Young, and if that name sounds familiar, it could be from the marquees around town here in Austin, or from quite a popular television show that you might be familiar with called The Voice. He got third place as a finalist. Don't know what that means because I've never seen the show, and spoiler alert, neither has he. But millions of you did, and for good reason. What an amazing musician, what a talented person, and one of the nicest people as well. There seems to be a common thread I'm noticing between these nice guests that I'm having. And if you're watching this on YouTube, which you should be, at Under the Marquee TV, then you're in for an extra treat because just what a handsome human being this guy is. If you're watching this, you'll see his locks look like they're coming straight from the heavens or Utah or wherever he's from. But just an amazing soul, good person, and boy, do we have fun on the episode. So let's get to the interview. Before we go there, though, please do me a favor. I know you're tired of hearing it, but I can't tell you how helpful it is. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's see if we can go from 2 subscribers to 4, or maybe even 5. Just get crazy with it. It'll mean a lot to me. It'll impress my mom at Thanksgiving next year. You know, just all the little things. But man, let's get to this episode. It's a lot of fun. It's Jordan Matthew Young. Let's go.
Dude, I had no idea. I've never seen the show or anything. I had no fucking clue. You know, like 11 million fucking people watch that show.
Wait, so for
every interview I'm fucking doing and all this shit, I'm like,
so what is this?
Wait,
what is this show?
The Voice.
Yeah.
And
for those of you that are watching, because we already started rolling.
Oh yeah.
Little pre-interview.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're talking about The Voice. Motherfucker was on The Voice.
It just was funny because I had never seen it, so I had no concept. Like, you know, each time I'm doing one of these interviews, I'm like, yeah, I don't really fucking give a shit. You know, I'm like talking like that, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to tone it down a little. And then later, like seeing it in People magazine, they're like, Jordan Young interview. I'm like, fuck. I gotta seriously start paying attention to what is coming out of my mouth.
That's so fucking hilarious. I was gonna ask you too, like, because I know you're on The Voice, but I don't know anything about The Voice.
Me neither.
So what is, for those that don't know, what is the premise?
Let's see. The main whole spiel would be, as far as what you see as a viewer, is art musicians coming on stage with these judges. They call them coaches. If you say judge, they're like, they're coaches.
Yeah, right.
Whatever they are. They're just, I liked my time there, but they're puppets, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I had a great time. I don't know anything about The Voice. I'm just like you. I've never seen an episode still, but it's the one where like these musicians come out and these judges, these coaches, they're celebrity coaches, their backs are facing the performer.
Yeah, right.
And the performer sings, and if one of those coaches likes them, they like hit a button and the chair turns around. Right. So that means they choose you, and that gives you the ability to, if say more than one turns around, now you basically have to choose which one you're going to go with. If just one turns around, it gets you like you're on the show now, right?
Yeah, right.
It just gets you to like the next stage.
What made you want to do The Voice? Did they come to town and you?
No. I have to be totally honest. I've done so many interviews about this, and like it doesn't matter to me if people believe me or not. But during COVID, I got an email from a auxiliary agency that works for them.
Yeah, right.
And I think especially because this was COVID, this is right at the peak of COVID, they were using these agencies to sort of scour TikTok and social media and look for people. I think what it does is, say they get 100,000, because I know I did American Idol once too. I got like wrangled into doing that.
What?
And there's like 180,000 people, try out. Or probably more, but anyway, formally, I'm sure they get about 100 to maybe 50 to 100,000 or something like that.
Jesus.
And so I think what they do, especially because it was COVID, is they'll go on social media and be like, okay, this person can actually, we know they can sing. We know they can play an instrument. That way we could maybe sort of like just shoehorn some people in that we know can sing and perform, so we don't have to sift through like 80,000 applicants,
100%.
right?
Yeah, when they do those long lines, that's like ridiculous.
Well, and this is COVID, so it's all online.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Like if you were auditioning at that time, you were just sending in a video, I would assume. But they emailed me, and I was sitting on the couch with my girlfriend. And I'm like, "Do you fucking see this? Read this." And we were both just like, "This is so bizarre." But what I get weird emails all the time where it's like,
you thought it was fake or something? You're like,
yeah, I definitely thought it was fake. But it was real enough to be like, okay, well, I'll reply. It doesn't seem like it's just malware. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
I'll reply, and like all that can happen is eventually I'll just get sick of them and delete it. Right?
Yeah, right.
And they just kept corresponding and like quickly being like, oh, great. Yeah. Well, we saw you on here, blah, blah, blah. We work for The Voice. We love to, like sort of get you involved in the interviewing like process. And I was like, I think this is fucking real. And then, I mean, literally, how much longer was it before I was in Burbank? It was a long time.
Ooh, Burbank.
We're staying in Burbank. A lot of it is shot in Burbank, but a lot of it's also shot at Universal.
How'd you like Burbank? How'd you like the 818?
So Burbank during COVID, man, I mean, we're in California, right? In Southern California, so everything is completely locked down hard. Way hard. But yeah, you stay, if you're on that show, a bunch of other like reality show contestants stay at that specific little what is it? Is it Marriott?
Compound or something?
I think it's a Marriott. No, it's a hotel.
Okay.
But it's sort of like the one that these shows use.
Oh,
right
really?
Across from the Burbank airport. It's a Marriott. I'm almost
okay.
certain. I spent 6 months there. I can't even remember, but
jeez,
they'll buy out the whole floor, So like we had 2 floors at the beginning, and then they also had like Real Housewives of Santa Clarita or some shit there. It was kind of funny because they're like, oh, this is like what they do here. All the floors are all taken up by all these different.
Wow.
So anyway, it was a long time later though. The process of actually making it to Burbank, it was just interview after interview, and then I'd send a video of me singing. And it's all.
Had you been there before? You been to California?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I had toured through there many times. When I was on the show, I was like 35 or 6.
How do you know?
So I was like
38?
an old man on the show. It's like 18, 16-year-old kids.
I did notice that. I watched a little bit of it to try to be like, okay, what's going on here? I'd never seen the show or anything except for maybe some clips that pop up. But I did see that I saw the one where it was you against the shorter, littler guy battling it out.
There was a bunch of those. I don't know
what his name was.
Oh, it might have been when I was with, when we did like.
You guys did a shared song?
Yeah. Yeah. There was
and then he got picked up by somebody else, and both of us were like, look at this young little guy.
I mean, dude, I'll tell you, I always say this is 100% the truth. When I got there, I think there was 200 of us. Damn. When you first get there, I couldn't believe, dude, when they said you're flying to Burbank. I was like, this whole time, all these months I've been corresponding with them, I still was like, what is this? It's just an email every time, right? I did some Zoom things too, but it was still just like, it's not real, until they're like, hey, you're flying to Burbank.
Wow.
But when we got there and there was 200 of us,
Jesus.
I was the bottom. When we would go hang out in the courtyard at this hotel, we were like, couldn't ever leave, We'd all sit outside and just sit on the ground and drink beers and smoke weed and play guitar, and we couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And
COVID.
I was always in the bottom of the 200, always. Everyone there can sing just like Michael Jackson.
What do you mean the bottom? Like, did they have tiers?
Talent-wise.
They have tiers of different people?
Just talent-wise.
Yeah,
just
right.
walking around and listening to everybody sing all the time,
Like,
and you can hear them in my room, and I can hear them in the hallway.
Wow.
No, always was in the bottom. It's not, the show is far from who's the best singer.
Yeah.
It's like I had a story arc that worked well, and I was really just blunt and authentic the whole time I was there too, because I'm like, I've been touring for so long and playing shitty bar gigs for so long, and some really amazing gigs too. Like we tour in Europe all the time. I've played with ZZ Top and some bands like that, and so I just was like, look, I was building a house at the time. I had to move back to Utah during that time because of the shutdown.
So you're from Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was building a house with my dad. We built like a 3-story house for somebody.
Jeez.
And that's what I grew up doing. And I was doing that. So they got footage of me, working on a job site and playing gigs. So my story looked great. Like I'm an all-American construction worker guy that's a musician, right? So that being authentic, and then I just sang songs that I cared about. I never allowed them to like push me into singing something awful. I never dressed in anything I didn't want to wear,
Well, that's something that, so I grew up in Los Angeles and I fucking hated the Hollywood aspect of it all. I didn't, the actors, the music, like the whole music scene, all of it, which it's so fake and contrived, and just I didn't like all of that. But it's funny, when I was super young, when I was like in high school, I got asked to do commercials by some chick. She's like, "This is what I do. I like manage talent." And same thing. I feel like you did well because you were genuine, because she got me on and she was like sending me off to these different interviews, and I was like, I fucking hate this. She's like, that's exactly why you're perfect for it.
Totally.
She's like, you fucking hate this?
They're like, we
love that.
This guy, he's real.
Oh, 100%. I'd go in there and I'd be like, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah.
And I walk in there like, I don't know, man. What do you want from me? And they'd be like, perfect. I get all these fucking callbacks, and I'm like, why? And they're like, because you don't like them. They love that.
That's amazing.
So I think that's probably a similar thing. Like, oh wait, you're not LA as fuck, and
yeah, because there's like a cheese factor when you're like, I'm so and so. This is my dream. It's all I've ever wanted. It's like you can feel it coming through the camera. It's like, and again, I've never seen the show. You haven't. I know though that it's pretty saccharine. Like I don't think I could probably watch an episode. I think it would kill me.
Yeah,
it would. I think it's really, really cheesy.
Yeah, it's
so. I was also just terrified of. I'm like, I'm never gonna do anything that I know is not me, because I know the show's already so cheesy. Like, if I'm gonna be there, I'm just gonna keep drinking beer and smoking weed and
love that
and playing the songs that I want to play. I'm gonna dress. I brought all my own clothes every time.
Love that.
One day they were finally like, okay, fuck, like we have this amazing warehouse at Warner Brothers that has like all these badass vintage Wranglers and shit.
Right.
They finally like got it. I went through their boots. They had like these fucking glittered up like rhinestone boots. They're like, yeah, those are cowboy boots.
Oh my!
It's like, dude, you're gonna have to fucking find some like Ariots if you want me to wear boots on here.
I mean, I don't miss that about Los Angeles. And a lot of it's moving here though now, man.
Yeah. No, it's here already. It's I feel like the last two, I've only been here 10 years, so
I've been here 10 years too.
Okay. So it's enough time for sure to have seen like some extreme change, but I have so many musician homies that are born and raised here. So I only just have like a tiny opinion on it. But for me, from 10 to now, it was interesting that the last two, with all the New York and LA comics coming, I just felt it differently. I'm downtown a lot for corporate gigs and for buyouts and things like that. And like now there's always, I'm like, oh shit, that's that fucking dude, that TV star. That's that dude. That's that movie star. Like now I'm seeing that a lot more and like bumping into people, and I'll get hired to play at someone's house. And I'm like, oh, this guy's a fucking huge celebrity. Like, that's more common now.
I keep on trying to explain to people like how it's, because I moved here from LA. I'm from Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So like, oh, you're tired of Californians moving here, Mr. California? I'm like, fuck, okay, you got me.
What did you do?
I'm a different breed though. It's 10, everybody says when they moved here, that's when it was fucking cool or whatever.
Of course.
But dude, 10 years ago, you moved here because you wanted to be here.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 years, you moved here because, I don't know, because some big podcaster is here that does comedy.
You kind of have to be here now.
Yeah, now
in
you
that
have to
LA
be here.
way.
Netflix is here. All this shit is here, and nobody wants to be there anymore. It's too expensive and whatever. So now they're all here, and it's just. I try to tell people, I'm like, people moved here for different reasons all the way up until the 2020 pandemic.
Right.
Post-pandemic, people are moving here for different reasons, and they're not the reasons I like, really.
True. Yeah. No, it's true.
Unfortunately,
it's just also just time. I mean, where I'm from, I never ever thought in my fucking lifetime that would be like a destination city. It's just time, and as society just gets more and more tired of these giant urban environments, they just spread out, and like all the tiny little towns that I grew up in Utah, like now they're fucking coveted because whoever, not just Rogan or so many people will talk about hunting. They're like, actually the best fucking hunting is over here
man.
where nobody goes. And then, 20 million people hear that. And during COVID and people want to get outdoors. So now even tiny little rural towns here is a great example. Like when you think about, maybe I shouldn't even say the names of them, but all the little towns around Austin, those are really popping off. Like I wanted to move to Bastrop for a long time and some of these other little towns.
Yeah.
And they're like hot. Like major celebrities are moving to them.
Bastrop?
These little,
wild.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
All these little towns, these peripheral Elgin and what I mean?
Lockhart.
Now I'm going to get skewered. I mentioned Elgin.
How dare? Yeah, Elgin. Seguin.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's the one.
There's all, what the cool thing though is like all the homies still get in there and open up shop.
Yeah.
Like duets in Martindale.
100%.
Like they get like Ryan and their awesome little team. They go down there. Boom. Now Martindale has a little spot that's like,
right.
I always consider them these awesome little branch offs of the White Horse. And like, I will definitely mention the White Horse because that's my bread and butter.
Fucking love the White Horse. We love you.
First real gig I ever had in Austin. First legit. I mean, it's the number one honky tonk in America as far as I'm concerned, without question. And I'll say that because it's packed every night. It's already... I'm not blowing it up anymore.
The bros are there already.
It's already there.
The bachelor and bachelorette parties have taken over.
It's still amazing though. It's the number one honky tonk in the country.
We just won't mention the other one that we go to that's a little bit further south. That one where you're not allowed to come to.
So it's like that place really branched out. I mean, there's places in New York and Nashville that opened up based off the White Horse. Like it's legendary. In Oklahoma, all over.
When I moved here 10 years ago, I was not a big country guy. I'm also a musician, but I grew up in Los Angeles. I was more like alternative rock kind of stuff. I always would I went to school for world music, and I would tell people I like everything except for country. Then I moved to Texas. And then I found like a little bit of hard times in the beginning because I didn't know fucking anybody here.
Well, and you're like, when you think country, you think, pop.
Yeah,
probably,
pop.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pop stuff that's just like, I got a beer in my truck, and you're like, which now I kind of like that anyway.
Honestly,
but
I guess I don't ever necessarily hate on anything, but I'm not like much of a pop guy unless I'm listening to like Nine Inch Nails or something.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I then grew to like love it all, but the funny thing is it actually all started at White Horse like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah,
walking around, I didn't know shit from fucking anything, and I didn't know anybody, and I was trying to get a job, and I got a job, and I wasn't making enough money, and barely had enough money to really go out and drink, but I wanted to meet people, and I kept trying to go a couple places, and people were just kind of assholes at some of the fancier like cocktail bars, whatever. So then I was like trying to find a dive bar, stumbled across White Horse back when it was like kind of quieter and chill, and I just remember going there and like on like days when it would be like empty a little bit, get my Texas two-step, a shot and a beer, which is a Boilermaker, get my Texas two-step, Lone Star, shot of bourbon, sit my ass down, listen to some like honky tonk, some like somebody crying about, hard times. And I'm like, that's funny. That's what I'm going through. And it just fucking connected. And then after that, I was just a staple there. It was always going to the White Horse. And that was, the last 10 years, but it is wild how it's grown in those 10 years.
That's kind of the real marker for me is my 10 years of going to the White Horse.
Yeah.
It's been open 12, I think.
Okay.
I think it's 12 now. It's almost 13, I think.
Wow.
And that is a huge marker. If you have seen that place over that amount of time, that's a big marker for what's happened in the city. But
100%.
It's amazing. It's an amazing thing though. Like that's an incredible positive. And what the cool thing you're talking about with country is like, even in the pop country world, country is a thing for me. Like when you see country, country songs are stories, right? So it's like when you see country, even if it's Keith Urban or whoever, they're like telling you a story in person.
They're troubadours.
Even exactly. Country musicians and blues music, folk musicians, which it's all kind of folk, right? It's stories. So yeah, even whoever the pop dude is, and he might not even have written it, but somebody wrote it.
Most
right?
of the time, they haven't.
The writers, they got a lot of great writers out there too that don't. I feel like writers should get more. It's such a thing. We have a BMI office here now, and we're just slowly the next Nashville, the next kind of maybe it's a mix of LA and Nashville.
Yeah, it does seem like it.
Yeah,
you've been doing some co-writing and stuff like that too. I know
a lot. Yeah.
How would you describe co-writing to people that don't know what co-writing is? Because even me, I'm like, how, I always feel like it's people that are writers write, and it's like a coveted thing to be the writer, and then you give off your songs. But how does it work when you're like, oh, let's co-write something, and then who takes it and who goes? Like, how does that all work?
Yeah, no, that's
because next week we're going to be having Jonathan Terrell, actually.
Good.
And I think you guys...
That's the homie.
That's the
oh, yeah, dude.
Fucking homie, man. I
love
him.
We've definitely done some co-writes. He used to live like a block from me, actually.
Oh, on Santa Monica Boulevard?
No, Terrell?
Yeah.
Terrell, no, this is when we were... he lived up in North Loop, where I live.
Oh, okay.
I live in North Loop.
Yeah, right.
Off Airport.
All right.
And I don't remember.
Now you can find them, guys.
Yep, that's where I'm at. Just people wandering around. There's plenty of people already just wandering around on Airport in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, he lived like a block from me. But for the cool thing about co-writing is there's really no one way. It's just like any time you write a song. There's all these ways that it just comes. But for me, the initial thing is like, why am I co-writing? Okay, I'm stuck on this song,
right?
Or I'm just bored today. I want to meet up with my homie and write. So like a lot of times I'll have an idea that I've just like say, like when I look at the voice memos on my phone, I can't remember. I looked the other day, it was like 3,500 or something. It's, so, each one of those is is a song somehow. Like It's either me being like, just singing in the bathroom at a bar somewhere. Cause I'm like, this thing, if I don't get this out of my head, this little hook, I'm going to go insane. And I'm like, excuse me. And I'll just run in the bathroom and like whistle into the recorder or whatever.
Oh yeah. I do it all the time.
You know exactly what I mean. Every musician does it. And so when you have, over 2,000 of those, I'll go back and listen. I'm like, oh, that is a cool guitar line. That is a whatever. And give it as much attention as you have. And later in my life, like in my music life, I stopped giving those tiny little nuggets so much energy because it was just like consuming my brain.
Right.
It's like, if I just am stumped, I'm just going to be stumped. And now I'll say, hey, come, let's meet up at the BMI office, wherever. Help me like make this a thing,
Sick.
It's got all the guitar and a vocal melody. It's got one line. It's got just this guitar hook, whatever it is. And then sort of over time, for me, you start to find people where when you get together, it works like almost every time. And it's interesting because I don't know what people would assume, but to me, I'm like, well, we play music, we could sit down, we could write a song. But it's just totally not the case at all, You sit down with somebody and you end up just like bullshitting the whole time, and you're like, I don't think we have like a kind of creative relationship. We just like really love each other's styles.
Right.
I love the way you sing and write, blah, blah, you know what I mean? Maybe down the road, or maybe we have something that works where you just need help with the chorus or something, right?
Right.
But I like to sit down, and I have a couple writers where over years of doing this with different people, and you find these people where like every time you sit down, whether it's their idea, your idea, or it's nothing, you like finish a song every time. And I'm like, wow. I mean, that's hard for me to do when I sit down and just like you're staring off into infinity, into any possibility, right? Like, and so like to even as just myself, if I have a whole day to write, to finish one entire song, it's hard as hell. Like for me. So to be able to pull that off in 2 hours with somebody, it's like really powerful.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Shit, before we move on away from The Voice.
Yeah.
Talking about The Voice, I have to ask you a very, very important question. What does Carson Daly smell like? I feel like he could go either way. I feel like he could go either smell like a, college roommate or like
no, he knows what he's doing, bro.
He's doing that.
Yeah, those guys really are on their shit.
Really perfect.
And those jobs too that's another thing I realized hanging out with the players a lot. They are like coveted jobs, dude. Those jobs are so amazing. It's a lifetime job. Like if you get into that band, if you audition and make it into that band,
I'm pretty sure I know somebody. It's an old friend. I think he plays keyboard for him.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, he goes on tours a little bit, but mainly that's his job.
Well, yeah, and some of them, like the guy that was the band manager, he's the keyboard player singer for the house band and kind of the band leader. He also is like a producer and is the one really attaching these random people that come in, these musicians, artists, singers, whatever you want to call them, to the band, which is such an integral part of the show because you have real rehearsals, and if you're a writer and a creator, like you're telling them, hey, I want to do it like this in this key.
Right.
You're talking to the dude that's like playing for like Pink and you know what I mean, Bruno Mars. And you find this out later too, they're like, who that drummer plays for? You're like, damn, I was just asking him if he could do a train beat or something stupid, But anyway, yeah, those jobs are amazing, and like everyone is so damn professional.
Right.
It was Carson. I remember meeting guys like that, and Snoop Dogg, and
what?
Yeah, and I can't even remember all the people, but
do you have a starstruck moment? Have you ever been starstruck by any of these guys? Do you have one?
I feel like any story I have in that world, I probably can't tell. But man, it's hard to even think of. But no, I remember meeting like Steven Tyler and all kinds of dudes like that. But I always just try to talk about like music and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not like I've got celebrities locked down. I
guess I asked because I grew up in Los Angeles. I never really got starstruck.
Bumping into them all the time.
Yeah, you run into them all the time. But I've been fortunate enough. One of my good friends is the drum technician for Ringo Starr. I've got to meet him twice. Never really been starstruck until he walks up to you and he shakes your hand, and you're like, "Holy shit, this is a Beatle that's giving me the dead eye, going, "How you doing, man? Nice to meet you."
Yes,
staring deep into your eyes, and you're like, "Oh, it's a fucking Beatle."
You're dead right. Yeah,
it's like that's what I'm like. It's fine. You meet them all, and you just talk, and you get along. But every once in a while, you get hit with one. You're like, okay, that's a little bit fucking.
There's
crazy.
Some real special. Like it reminded me when I lived in Utah, we'd play Sundance every year.
Oh, nice.
And in the same night at Sundance, this is funny and creepy. I'm playing and I looked out and Kevin Spacey was sitting there just staring right at me. Really close, not too far away. And I was like, obviously this is before the Kevin Spacey shit, right? And I was like, that fucking
has aged poorly.
I turned around, I'm like, that's fucking Kevin Spacey. Later, I'm like, dude.
Every time you look, he gets a little closer.
Thank God I didn't like get wrangled into some shenanigans that night. My God. Ooh. But that same night, we went and played a show with the sons of the Allman Brothers. There's
nice.
Dwayne Betts and Devin Allman. It's hard to remember their names because they're kind of like a blend, but they're amazing guys. And it was a tiny little intimate acoustic show. Right in front of us was Ben Stiller.
Oh, nice.
And
short guy.
Mm-hmm. And oh God, I'm gonna be such a piece of shit. I can't think of his name right now, but it's the guitar player for Rage.
Tom Morello.
Tom Morello. God. So they're like homies.
Ben Stiller and Tom Morello. That's a fucking couple.
And it was almost that they were like homies. That it was even the like more starstruck thing. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Like you just meet people at different events and then you become friends. Like they don't have to be the same like world, you know.
I got one. The Lizzie McGuire chick.
Oh yeah, what is her name?
Hillary Duff.
That's
One
right,
time I was
Hillary
working at a bar, and Hillary Duff and Marilyn Manson were partying together, and I thought that's a fucking weird combo.
That is an insane combo.
Yeah, they got on like, wildfire.
They like the same something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No comment on what that was, but yeah, something.
Same belts or something.
Same
maybe.
belts or something. Yeah. White belts. Anything, being that you got to see behind the scenes and all that, like anything that is wild to you about The Voice that people wouldn't know about? Like seeing the underbelly or the backside of it, or
probably just everything you think the contestants are doing, like they're definitely doing, but especially because we were locked up in the hotel. Like,
oh yeah,
we just kind of the funny shit that we were getting into, but yeah, just
ever
partying
any, like,
and
hotel nonsense. Like, let's go fucking
break
pull out
onto the roof and like shoot fireworks off the roof and shit.
Dude.
But not really. No, it's again, not having seen it, I think it's really steered and really produced.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't know because I just really have no clue. So it probably does look unbelievably different from what I'm assuming. It's very much just get up early as hell, warm up, sing, do interviews, like you're like hopping from this van to this van to this van, getting wardrobe done. And as it's getting closer and closer to the end and it's live, and then your top 20, then your top 15, top 10, I think it was top 6 or something before it went to the top 4. Wow. I don't remember. I made it to 3rd. So I was there the whole, thank you. So I was there the whole shooting of the entire thing. That's the last episode.
Crazy.
So it just really ramps
gets
to such a wild pace. Like you're going to bed at 3 a.m. and you were in the studio till 2 a.m.
Wow.
Just singing your ass off in the studio, like take after take. And then it's like, a 40-minute, 30-minute drive back to Burbank. You pass out and you have to be in wardrobe at like 6:30 in the morning.
Jesus.
And we had to get fucking COVID test every fucking morning and shit.
You got the fucking nose
every morning.
up.
And then caked in TV makeup, wardrobe.
God,
and it's
sucks.
like, they got to cover my tattoo just so. And like, they got to make sure my buttons aren't too far down because it's too whatever. And like, shit's taped to your chest.
For the children.
And this is taped back here.
Not here, bro. Just let it loose.
Come on. No, I would always pop an extra button. Always. And they'd be like, you little fucker. I loved the wardrobe people. That was like my favorite crew.
That's awesome.
That was who you were sitting with the most like you were spending most of your time with wardrobe just talking tons of shit.
I love that.
I had a blast.
It's like being with hairstylists, you just
Dude,
talk
they gave
shit.
me fuck, I don't even know if I should say, but like thousands of dollars of clothes when I left.
That.
Yeah. And boots and
fuck
shit.
Yeah,
these
dude.
fucking boots.
Let's see 'em.
These boots.
Nice.
Dude, these are slick. Yeah.
Them shiny,
they
dude.
gave me these. It was amazing.
Did you fall in love with burritos like I so hugely am?
So, growing up in Utah, it's West Coast.
Oh,
Mexican.
yeah.
So
okay.
we have burritos.
See, you understand.
Oh, yeah.
You understand.
We do not have burritos in Texas.
Yeah. We don't have any fucking burritos, and it drives me absolutely batshit.
They're around,
nuts.
but
they're not great.
people don't get that, like, every place is a burrito place.
Every place.
Yeah, when
a
you're out
burger
west.
place is a burrito place.
Oh, fuck, true.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Like, a Greek place is a burrito place.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just call them a wrap. No, they just call them burritos. But
I do love a burrito. I mean, that's the one thing I really miss about the burrito is like either 2 a.m. or like 7 a.m. going to work. Like 2 a.m. going to bed, 7 a.m. going to work.
that is the perfect time for a burrito. You're right. Because in the morning, if you have to jump in your car, you want a breakfast burrito.
You can just eat it while driving.
Driving, one hand. It's got all sauce. Everything's in there. It's got the crunch from the bacon.
Yep.
Or 2 o'clock in the morning, you're like, give me the sluttiest,
Dude.
fucking greasiest motherfucker. I'm going home. Make it big. And then they're fucking the size of your head.
They're huge.
And you just sit there stoned and drunk and it's like, this is the best.
It's like dinner and breakfast.
100%.
Those like a breakfast burrito is what I miss.
Love it.
Breakfast burrito.
Well, why don't we switch up a little bit and play a little ditty?
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I love that you're doing music on this. It's really cool that you're doing live performances.
Thanks, man. Yeah, oddly enough, the funny thing is I almost didn't. I was like, yeah, I want to do interviews with local musicians where we talk. And originally I was thinking about breaking down their songs and like talking about their music and like, let's go over this, which we still can do. But then somebody else was like, oh yeah, I did a podcast the other day. They were a musician. And like, yeah, and I played a couple songs and I was like, oh yeah, why don't I do that? Just they're there. Why don't we have them play a couple songs? And it's been one of the people's favorite parts. So
that's really cool, man. It's why wouldn't you? I think, especially when I think about, we were talking about like Kill Tony and things like that.
Yeah.
There should be a version of that for music. Like I keep saying that everywhere I go.
100%.
I'm not like unique in that, but I'm going to just like keep saying that all the time. Somebody needs to fucking figure out a Kill Tony for musicians so that in one 60-second performance,
Kill music.
Can just go open for whoever after that. I think somebody's got the power to do it. And
I think they call it The Voice.
It's kind of is like that, but I just wanted to be at a dive bar in Austin. That's the problem.
All right, White Horse sponsor.
Figure it out.
Call Kill Music, and
I like Kill Music.
Right? We'll be the judges, but you can't call us judges. We're coaches. We just judge you all the time.
Celebrity.
Coaches. You're a celebrity now. We got you. We'll see how this fucking podcast goes. Maybe
like a 1/8 of a celebrity or something. Maybe a 16th.
No, we'll. Over here at Under the Marquee, we'll take it.
How we good on sound? Guitar good to go?
Let's check it
Beautiful.
out.
Yeah, this is one I've been playing that I kind of started it about my grandmother, and then it kind of became about people that just burn up real fast. I have a bunch of friends that have passed away over the years that were those people that just like burn real bright, you know?
Right.
It kind of ended up becoming about that. It's called Morning Angel.
Cool.
Morning angel, flying round. Do you ever get lonely? Ever come down? Riding easy on the wind. I would love to know everywhere you've been. Always love to see you when you fly, showing all your colors way up in the sky. Let it shine till you come back down. Ooh. While you're out there above the rain, do you feel no sorrow? Feel no pain? The sun is shining in my eyes, and we're all down here barely getting by. Oh, always love to see you when you fly, showing all your colors in the sky. Let it shine. Ooh, let it shine. Shine. Let it shine until you come back down. Oh, yeah. Kind of somber, kind of yeah. It's interesting how they kind of morph into something later too. Maybe it starts out as meaning one thing, and later you're like, actually it means this, you know.
You said you wrote that about your grandmother?
Yes, my grandmother. That both of my grandmothers that passed away were like really big influences on me, and I lived with them like kind of on and off when I was younger, and they're just really like amazing people. I've just always had a really big influence from them. Both sets of my grandparents actually.
I couldn't agree more, man.
Yeah,
I grew up in a Mexican family, and both my grandmothers, just huge influences. Both, teaching me the love language of food was a huge one.
No, that's awesome,
man. The food that comes out. I mean, my grandmother, both of them could cook, but one of them, damn, could cook. We're talking just like I've never had a better bean and cheese burrito in my entire life, and I never will.
What was like? Did they have like a specialty? Were they making everything like?
So my grandmother, it's funny. She would make everything from scratch and also not make everything. So like my favorite thing was her mole.
I was gonna ask. See, that's what I meant. Was like, did they make mole and shit like that?
She did make mole, but oddly enough,
amazing.
No, but she didn't. She used the jar.
But
she would doctor it up.
Yeah.
And she did. She's still no longer with us, but she did make me promise to never tell anybody. So I can't tell you what the one main ingredient is.
I love it. That's awesome.
But there was one thing that she would throw in that was like, you can't tell anybody about this meat hole, but this is what it is. Oh, I was almost gonna give a hint. She
told you? That's
amazing. She told me, and it changes the whole profile. But yeah, she doctors it up. She adds her own stuff, and the main thing that would just kill is like her rice, her beans.
That's awesome.
With just
what kind of beans?
Just pinto beans. She would use bacon fat.
Is it like a charro?
No, we're talking refried.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Refried beans. I don't even know everything that's in there except for bacon. A lot of bacon grease was in there. I remember I became vegetarian for a little while, and she was like, "I'm not having this shit. You're having." I couldn't say no to the beans, so I was like, all right, it'll be. But the salsa that she made, everything else, but it's huge influence on me. Huge influence on me. So I get that, and that's an awesome song.
Hell yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, isn't that cool? Like if you can have that relationship. My parents are real young, so
same.
Yeah,
my mom had me when she was 20.
Yeah, my mom was 16.
You got me beat.
16-year-old. Girl, isn't that crazy?
In Utah.
So yeah, not that uncommon. Especially back in the day, it's like actually not quite like that anymore. But anyway, it's just cool. Like I know people that never got to know their grandparents because they were so old by the time they were like an adult.
Yeah. 100%. I always feel bad for people that never got that. Like, did you have a big family life? Because that's another thing too. I grew up, big Mexican family. So it's like sometimes when I'll talk to people, they're like, "Oh, I never had a big family and big Christmases. We had a huge Christmas where it's like it's a Mexican family. I think my grandparents had 7 siblings or something like that.
That's amazing. It's the same for me. Yeah.
I have like 8. I have like 7 aunts and uncles, and then they had 2 to 3 kids each. So imagine the people just running around. Which made it for really fun Christmases, but now we don't do that. Now it's not the same anymore. But I often will, know people that are like, "Oh man, it was just me and my parents, and I had an aunt or an uncle." Did you have a big family, or?
I had a huge family. And
Mormon?
Yeah, when I hear that, like
Mormon family, or
there are some. Yeah, there's definitely some because it's huge, so it's like inevitable. And small town, so. But yeah, I wouldn't say. God, it's so big. Maybe it's 50-50 or something like that. It's I have the Youngs. I'm a Young.
Yep.
That's very common name in
Young.
Utah.
Is
right?
it?
Yeah, Brigham Young. Anyone watching that knows anything about Utah would be like, "Oh, Young, like Brigham Young." Was one of the founding fathers of Utah.
Okay.
And then I have the Nortons, and then I have steps. So on top of the Nortons, my mom has, God, I would sit and count, but it would be ridiculous too. But it's, I believe 7, and then my dad, I believe, is 8 siblings. But it's 7 and 6 or 7 and 8, and I love them all dearly. So I'm really sorry, but math is not my thing. Everybody knows that.
It's not a math show.
There is a shitload of them, just like you said. they all have kids, and now like tons of my cousins, a lot of them have kids. Like people that are younger than me have like a few kids, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it's the same, man. Huge family. And then I have the steps, and yeah, on my stepdad's side, I have 2 stepbrothers that I grew up with. And on my dad's side, with my stepmother, I have 2 sisters. And then I have a half sister from my stepdad and my mom. So anyway, it's all spread out. You got a big one. It's all spread out. And I love it. It's amazing. I would be I like need my family all the time. I call someone in my family every day. Every day I call my uncle, my aunts and my uncles, call my stepdad, I call my mom, my dad, my sister. Like, I have to hear, I just love, like, they're such a part of me, man. Like,
that's great.
Especially, like, it's funny, my aunts and uncles, like, living with my grandparents and always being passed around when you're like a little kid and spending so much time here and there. Like, some of my aunts and uncles are like my closest friends. They're, good people, that. Man. Yeah.
Did you have any home cooking that you loved more than
dude, Utah shit?
I don't know what Utah's cooking.
No,
up.
Actually, Utah does have a thing. It's Dutch oven cooking. We're like masters of Dutch oven cooking.
Yeah?
And
I have one of those.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. You should go. We also were master like deep pit roast cookers. So this is where you have a big, deep brick oven in the ground. That's also a Mormon thing.
Almost
that
like,
takes it takes like 10 hours of cook time, but it's like 15 hours total, you know.
Like barbacoa? Are you doing
No, it's just straight up like goat? Yeah, we're doing beef, but it's not like, it's just cooked meat, right? It's not barbecue or anything like that. Right. It's just a slow cooked, like we do turkeys, we'll do beef, we do pork, chickens.
Cool.
But just a big hunk of beef. It's just salted beef.
Love it.
You know, dude, anyone.
Salt and fat, baby.
Yeah, true. It is really all you need. Like, but that is some Mormon shit, man. For sure. Dutch oven cooking and pit cooking.
Fucking love it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, first off here, random question. Beatles or Stones?
Probably more Beatles, just because if I want to get like my brain washed in music, then it would be the Beatles.
Yeah.
If I'm like getting pumped up for something, or like if I'm DJing at a party, it's fucking immediately going to be the Stones. Immediately, like with no question, like Street Fighting Man or like Tumbling Dice or something is coming on. Of course, like Can't You Hear Me Knocking, but it's like kind of, it's almost overdone. But just that's the sound of like sexy party time instantly.
Do you have some like a song that you really connected with, like when you were super young, that just like was the song? Like for me, one of them was Mr. Crowley by Ozzy Osbourne.
Hell yes.
I heard that as 7-year-old me fucking heard that, and I was like, let's go. I broke the cassette, dude.
So good.
I warped the cassette because I would rewind and play
always
nonstop.
Yeah. I had a huge cassette collection.
My mom would go to she'd, back in the day when they just left you in the car, but she'd go to the bank and I would just sit there and rewind and play Mr. Crowley.
Down.
So good.
God, man, that's so cool. Like, what a cool... I think about that stuff a lot, actually, as I get older. I have so many memories of me with my mom and dad. They're both so young and we're such like 80s rockers.
Same.
You know?
Same.
Right. Same.
Mom
same
raised
thing.
me on the same shit.
So like my mom would like
Ozzy fans.
She's driving fast in like a topless car and it's like she's just fucking blasting AC/DC.
Yes.
Like always blasting AC/DC. And I just think like the times I've tried to kind of, not tried to do a thing, but like, oh, I'm so interested all of a sudden in just playing like John Lee Hooker. Like when I moved to Tennessee, that was the only musician I cared about.
Right.
And I just played like him and sang like him and wrote like him. And then I'm just obsessed with only Hank Williams Sr. and only play like him, write like him. But every time I like have one of these these little branch offs. Like if I'm playing a live show and it's busy and I have a really kick-ass band, like we're a rock band, you know, every time, no matter what we start out playing. If it's busy and there's energy, like we end up being a rock band every time. And it's like, I feel like I'm just like a rock person. Yeah, for sure. The Doors, for sure. AC/DC. Which is, the Doors is a weird one. Like people really hate the Doors or love the Doors.
I grew up in Venice Beach, man. Santa Monica.
It's the sound. It's the sound of it. Yeah, that's like the soundtrack of that area.
I actually have a funny story. I actually met Robbie Krieger once.
Yeah. In L.A.
Yeah. I was going to UCLA, and it was finals season or whatever. Everyone was taking their exams, and I didn't want to go because they were doing a screening of When You're Strange, the documentary that he came out with. And I was like, I can't go, man. I got to do all the studying. And my buddy was like, just take a minute, take your mind off of it. So I show up, we go. My buddy works for the people that are putting it on. They're like, oh, he's going to be there. He's going to do a little introduction. I'm like, oh, fucking awesome. So he goes up, we go up there. They sit me right in the front. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. He goes, does a little introduction. He goes, all right, enjoy it. All the footage is from 67 to 68 or whatever it was. Johnny Depp is the does the narration.
Yeah, he is the narrator. Yeah.
And then he goes, all right, cool. I hope you enjoy it. And so he comes and he walks off stage and he walks right up to me and he's like, hey, man, is anybody sitting there? And there's a seat next to me. And I'm like, no.
You are?
No. He's like, do you mind if I have a seat? And I was like, no, I don't mind if you have a seat. And he's like, cool. And he just comes and it's fucking fold out chairs. He just sits right next to me. I'm just like, oh, fuck. I'm watching this whole documentary on him, with him.
Were you looking at his face and shit? Or
I was. Well,
that'd be hard to not be like.
Super confusing part, or super weird part was eventually, music comes on and it's like da 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 da, and I'm just start tapping drums on my legs because I'm a drummer, and I'm like, oh fuck, what am I doing, dude? I'm not doing air drumming next to fucking Robbie Krieger, and I look over, he's doing the same shit on his legs, and I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, totally.
And then I was like, fuck it. He was obviously having fun too, and at the end of it, I actually thanked him. I was like, hey man, I'm a music student here at UCLA, just like y'all were, and it's such a pleasure to meet you. You've been a huge influence as well on me. I love the Doors. And I was just like, thank you so much. Like, also they showed, some of the darker sides of the music industry and of music. And I was like, thank you for doing that. Like, I love that you portrayed both sides and it was an honest portrayal. And thank you so much. Like, you're speaking my language. I'm literally following in y'all's footsteps.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, thank you so much. That's why we did it. We really wanted to, portray it well and honest and earnest. And he's like, yeah, no problem, man. And then they were like calling him up. He's like, all right, I got to go on stage to do a Q&A. I'm like, all right. So he goes on stage, does a Q&A, and people are asking the stupidest shit. People are like, what's your favorite Doors song?
What's acid like?
Yeah, they were asking the dumbest things, and I got so tired of it with no interest in asking a question. I'm just like, fuck this, and I raised my hand.
What was Jim's favorite sandwich?
100%. Like, just dumb shit. And so then I raised my hand. He goes, yeah. He was tired of it.
That guy.
He was tired. He's like, oh, what's up? And I'm like, I asked him, what's your favorite? Or I go, what do you think of the current state of the music industry? This is 12 years ago. What do you think of the current state of the music industry? And what do you think it would take for there to be another band as influential as the Doors in that style? And he's like, well, my manager's here, so I can't talk about how I feel about the music industry. But what will it take for there to be another Doors? He goes, get off your fucking phones. Go outside, go climb a tree, catch a frog, go do something, dude. Get off. You guys are just incubated. And he goes, I'd say, that, go take a walk and also learn how to play your instrument before you show up to the studio. And I was just like, burn.
Fuck. Yeah, that should be number one.
Yeah. But I think it was a time when a lot of people were just,
well, yeah,
home studioing it.
That's
quick.
What I was going to say is with GarageBand and stuff. Yeah, you can kind of
just do whatever.
Which it's like there's more freedom and more art than ever. That's a thing that exists. Whether it's good or not isn't really up to. It's wild. There's kind of a magic to being able to do that now. Also, like bands that can book their own tour, and that's such a recent thing. There's never been middle class musicians until maybe in the 90s it started. really, where you could like book your own tour. But even then, it was like bands that were touring pretty much on a label, doing something. Like they had someone that cared. Yeah. In the 2000s, like when MySpace and stuff like that came out, you could just book your own band across the country.
100%.
You used to be able to just call. We booked a bunch of tours where I'd call the bar, and the guy would answer and be like,
"Can we play?
Hey, who books there?" And like, I do.
Yeah.
And you could like really book a show because you could talk to the guy.
Right.
Instead of fucking cold emailing somebody. They don't give a shit
100%.
about you, right? So,
yeah.
I don't know. I did a lot of my own booking stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to hit us with another ditty?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
What do you reckon?
Let's see.
By the way, that last song was killer. Love that.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
That was really good.
I dig that one. It's kind of that version of it is like a chicken picking train beat version is like a totally alternate, it's kind of like a heavy song actually. But this is one I've been playing a lot lately.
Oh, let's do it.
Just kind of about being a drunkard which is, half of country music, I guess. So this is my version.
Cheers to that.
Come on, baby, won't you let me in? I'm the same old trouble, always been. I haven't changed at all. You see, I'm still the life of the party, tearing it up every night, wasting away in the full moonlight. You probably never give old me a chance, but how about just one more dance? I'm just a low life, settling in for a long night. I'm talking a lot of shit, living off my high time. Yeah, I never say goodbye to a good time. Stumbling alone in the street lights, I'm trying to make it home to you. Trying to make it home to you. Trying to make it home. I walk across town in a stiff wind for whiskey, beer, vodka and gin. You know I love all the sounds that the bar makes. I love the smell, I love the taste. Well, it really is important work, living hard down in the dirt. You gotta have a story to tell. You gotta go out and give them hell when you're just a low life, settling in for a long night. I'm talking shit, living off my high time. I never say goodbye to a good high, stumbling along street lights, trying to make it home to you. Trying to make it home to you. Trying to make it home. Low life, settling in for a long night. I'm talking all kinds of shit and living off my high time. I never say goodbye to a good time, stumbling alone in the street lights, trying to make it home to you. Trying to make it home. Trying. Just a little slice of life, I guess.
Damn, dude.
It's
I feel half drunk just hearing it.
Yeah, exactly. One that later, when I really sat and listened to it, I was like, oh, wow, have I been a big piece of shit lately? Maybe, yeah. But, you know.
Sounds like you're having fun.
Austin's a pretty boozy city.
It's a very boozy city.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. A lot of you know. But I mean, everything is if you drink with it.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, we got a lot of great food here. So, you know, it's like you sit down for a meal, got to have a great drink.
Funny you mentioned that. Big part of this show, too, is I like to bring a little bit of food and break bread with my homies.
That is amazing.
And that's what we're going to do right now. If you want to put down that guitar, I got a little treat for you.
You've already been above and beyond host, man.
Oh, man. Stop it. Well, boy, do I have a treat for you.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Oh, yeah. So funny and awesome that you mentioned cooking shit in the ground. And here, you need another beer?
I love one. I'm working for corporate America right after this.
I'm going to crack myself one, too.
Yes, sir.
NA for myself.
Cheers, brother, man. Thank you for having me.
Dude, thank you awesome. So much. Thank you so much for
congratulations, dude. Like, you know, the groups you've had on here, man, are really amazing. Like, and I'm so glad CC was your most recent, right?
Yeah.
Like mention me or whatever, because this is awesome. I'm so glad you're doing it, and I'm in really good company. Like I saw,
thank you.
The other groups that you've done, and they're all either homies or. You know, I'm like big fans either way. Some really awesome people.
Thank you.
It looks great, man.
Man, and you know, just thank you. You know, I did this. Recently I had like a bit of a close to death experience, and it made me really appreciate life and want to share life. And I realized I had all these really close friends in music and such and around, and I was like, I almost felt like it was selfish of me to keep it all to myself. You know, I wanted to share it, and that's how we just got on this. And thank you, man. I mean, it's you know, you are another one on this list of really awesome people that I'm so happy to have on. So.
I'm glad to be here, man. I'd love to come back. It's super cool.
So here we go. We're gonna hop right into this.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you the one I think you'll like, but go ahead and crack that open and tell me what you think. For those people that are just listening, he is opening up a box of food.
What we got here? Oh my Lord!
Yeah,
look at that.
Yeah. Ooh. What you got there?
That is incredible. No way. So this is we got the brisket.
Yeah. So we have
serious slab of brisket. Oh, look at that! It just fell apart.
Yeah, baby.
Amazing. Okay.
So we our homies at Lambert's hooked us up.
No way. This is Lambert's.
Lambert's Barbecue, baby. My boy Kyle Renfro. He's a badass cook. I work in barbecue myself, but they do a damn good job. We got some country style ribs. We got a Texas sausage. We got brisket. We got some pickles. Now, do you prefer a cheddar sausage or a beef hot link? You want to go all beef? You want to go cheddar? I got the beef right here, but the cheddar's my favorite.
No, I'm good with this. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Break off a piece. Tell me what you think.
Amazing.
Cheers, brother.
Love Lambert's, dude. Cheers. Yeah, I actually have worked over there quite a bit.
Oh, yeah? They have a great upstairs room.
Mm-hmm. The indoor?
Yep.
The outdoor? Corporate? I did one with Gordy from Band of Heathens.
Oh, nice.
Upstairs. But all, corporate events, different events, normal shows. It's a beautiful spot.
We got all this shit, too. We got sauerkraut. We got sauces.
Oh, my God. The brisket.
The brisket's perfect. I'm going to put this one right here. This is the white crack right here. This is white barbecue sauce, dude. Try that on whatever you want. It's fucking delicious.
Man, the other day, I was watching a Hot Ones.
Yeah.
And I was like, how fucking hot are those?
Have you not tried them?
Shut you the fuck down? No.
Goddamn. I'm gonna bring one next time.
One of the hot ones?
Yeah. So
the one that always fucks them up is the bomb.
Yeah. So I've had the bomb. And it has a slow fucking burn, dude. It just, you're like, okay, that's hot. Oh, that's hot. And then it does hit this nuclear level where your body starts tingling and your head gets a little hot. You get high from it,
get
dude.
like high.
You get fucking high from it. And all of a sudden, like, didn't help that I was definitely fairly intoxicated at the time at a little trip out to Denver during the pandemic. Had a little bit of a dab, and oh fuck, dude, it just.
Oh yeah, you got to be in a strong headspace for
I had a video of it, and it's funny because I have the video of me talking, and it's like I don't really remember that little part because I just remember kind of looking around like. Yeah, and like everybody it's like when you get too stoned, and people are too close, they feel too close, you know? It was kind of like that.
And you're in pain.
And you're in fucking pain.
Yeah.
And you're sweating.
Like,
you're literally sweating.
You're like a rabid animal.
But here you go,
oh
man.
my God.
Got some sides
this
too
is
if you
amazing.
want some. I'll wrap it up. A couple more questions out to you.
Hell yeah.
What, dude, you got any crazy tour stories? What's the best thing that's ever happened? What's the worst thing that's ever happened?
I got a great story.
Oh, tell me.
We were in Georgia, in Savannah, Georgia. We were actually in Tybee Island, Georgia. Love Tybee Island.
That pop on that sausage.
It's amazing. And this mustard, spicy mustard. Is that what that is, spicy mustard?
No, that's
sauce?
white barbecue sauce.
Oh, it's just white barbecue
It's like
sauce.
a redneck ranch, dude.
It's like real vinegary. Yeah, it's good. Damn.
So tell me.
So we're in Tybee Island, and
Where's that?
it's Savannah, Georgia is on the coast. And then there's a little island that's just separated by basically like a, kind of like a sliver of water. But it's an island. And I just have all these legendary stories from that area for some weird reason. Every time I've gone out there, it's always just been a wild night every time. But one time I was out there with some close friends, and this particular tour run was more of a like rolling bachelor party for one of my best friends, because it wasn't a normal band. It was like, hey, what if I booked it as myself, but we just showed up with like homies and we just play whatever. So we kind of like swindled a bunch of venues, because really we were just showing up and just
partying.
Dude, there was a time, oh my God, there was one of those shows. We got into town and we all like rolled out of the van. It's probably 4 a.m. We'd just been partying so hard, and we woke up on the lawn of the venue. Like when they came to open the venue, we were asleep on the lawn. And they were like, excuse me, who are you? And we're like, oh, fuck, we're the band that's playing tonight. And they were like, fuck no. You know what I mean? We didn't play. They had like a stand-up night, and one of us my buddy went up and like did stand-up. He's not a stand-up comedian.
Oh my God. Y'all just fucking raising hell.
But yeah, so it was like we were on tour, but it was not like, okay, we got great merch, we got a thing, we have a product, we're doing a thing, we're promoting a record.
Yeah.
It was just like, we'll book a bunch of shows and then just have homies in the band and just fucking see how far it goes, basically. And somehow we made it all the way back. We left out of Utah, went all the way to the coast.
Wow.
Played even Florida and shit. But in Savannah, we played Tybee Island, had another legendary night, and we woke up the next morning staying at one of these friends' houses. And this was a friend I had met years before being on Tybee. Just like every time you're there, you make like real close friends. And I remember getting up and we're all hungover as shit. We had the day off, and I was asking his girlfriend, I'm like, man, last night, weren't you telling us about how like your whole family are all gator wranglers and you like fucking have a gator farm and shit? Like, is that real? Was that like, am I just dreaming that, She's like, oh, no, we do that shit. Yeah, that's right. I'm like, legit? And she's like, oh, fuck yeah. I'm like, what are the chances that we could like see a gator? Just see one,
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know. Let's see. She just like opened her phone, called somebody. I was like, hey, my sister and one of our guys have a 14-foot alligator that they just snared. It's like a trouble gator that they got to remove.
Wow.
They need our help right now. We're going. So we're going to go fucking help these guys with this 14-foot. It's like a 700-pound alligator.
Oh, damn.
And
it's a dinosaur, dude.
Oh, truly. And
fuck.
dude, when we got there, somehow They had gotten it in the truck. I don't know how the fuck they got it in the truck. We were supposed to meet them to help them get it in the truck. They got it in the truck, and they're like, "Just meet us at the farm." So it was great because we got to go to their like big gator farm, and we got there, and they had already parked the truck, and tailgate was down, and it fucking hangs past the tailgate by like 4 feet.
Jesus.
It's a fucking huge animal, and when you got up to the truck, it makes this noise, this low noise. You've seen how they vibrate the water?
Yeah.
When it makes that noise, there's like an instinctual thing in every human body that's like, that is the ultimate, that's like a tornado. It might as well be, like a fucking, like a lightning bolt or a volcano, something that just will kill you instantly. Like, it makes this sound.
That's got to be some prehistoric.
So primal.
Some
big fucker, dude. And we
straight up dinosaur shit.
Yep.
It's like the T-Rex is coming.
So
that rumble.
They're like, all right, we got to get this thing out of here. First, we got to untie it. It had been hogtied. We were like, okay. And I got a stick with a knife that I had with some duct tape, and we cut its legs off. It's the tape. Its legs were fine. I mean, people should know too, like at gator farms, if there's trouble gators, they can like have the opportunity to take it, butcher it, sell the meat, use the skin, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's cool, actually. They breed them there too. There's like thousands of baby gators there.
Wow.
So I don't know what they did with that one, but it was fine. We cut its spines, and during that, it was getting real pissed off. This pro guy has been doing this forever. He's all the way up by the cab of the truck. Like, so the tailgate's all the way down here, right?
Yeah, right.
To his right is the passenger door, and the end of the tailgate's over there. In 1 second, its tail came from way past the tailgate all the way up and hit him in the back.
Get the fuck out.
And it just like sucked the life out of him. Instantly, he was done. He just like stumbled off onto the farm somewhere. And we were like, oh shit, we're down a guy. And that was like the first thing that happened.
Oh my God.
I remember like the first thing that occurred was that dude just be like, ugh, and just like walked off. And we were like, holy shit, this thing is going to kill us. But anyway, we got it out of the truck and got it into a little tank. It was cool. It was an amazing day off. It was crazy. We're like, what the fuck? Now we got to go play a show? Like, so what a weird day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sick, man.
Oh, it was amazing. Love that shit down there, dude. Love the South.
Well, tell me, you got to... We're getting close to the end here, man. You got to...
Yeah, bro. Thanks for having me.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on.
This is amazing food, by the way, too.
Lambert's.
So generous.
Holla. Tell me, is there anything you want to promote? This will probably come out in like a month or so. Probably more like 2. But anything you want to promote? I know you do jewelry.
That's true.
I heard you do jewelry.
Yeah, these are some real simple ones I made. But yeah, I make these big, usually kind of specialize in like big custom pieces.
Cool.
Where I cut the stones too.
Yeah, nice.
That's like one thing that is a little
sick.
different is I have a big lapidary setup for cutting stones.
Love that.
Yeah, so it's nice to be able to cut custom stone. I mean, like everything is kind of custom, you know what I mean?
Cool.
I don't always do that. I make little teeny ones that are just basic too, but
right on.
I like doing those big ones.
What I heard you also have a album coming out, right?
Yeah, that's really the only thing that matters is I've spent so much fucking time on this record, and
tell me about it.
We really like did it right, and took the amount of time that it needs for it to be done right, and put really good songs on it, and like lots of co-writes, and just like took it. Yeah, I mean, everyone takes it seriously. This one, for me, it would be one I took more seriously than anything else. You know.
Cool, man.
But yeah, so by the time this comes out, it will probably have a single out. Okay. And I'm going to probably release like 3 singles before it drops. And I'll probably have a video with each one. But yeah, it'll be available probably in fall. If not, I might just wait until winter. Right in January is kind of a great time to like get stuff to people in radio.
Love that.
It's just, I mean, I don't even know shit like that. I only know that from going to meetings and stuff. But yeah, Jonathan Tyler helped produce it. Matt Hubbard and Chris Bell helped produce it. A bunch of really like legendary fuckers. And Chris Burns and Matt Hubbard together are like legendary, and then Chris Bell mixed it, and Chris has done everything like I can even think of. Lots of stuff for the Eagles and like Erykah Badu, and like, he's amazing, man. I met him through Jonathan, and just really tried to build like awesome relationships and have the best players at all times.
Great.
Cut anything that felt like fat at all. And good. From I think 18 songs, we have 10. So wow. Kind of nice too. I'm sitting on a shitload of songs right now.
Love that.
Yeah.
What's the name of the album?
I don't fucking know. I literally am sending it to get mastered.
Don't forget to go check out I Don't Fucking Know
by Jordan Matthew Young. It's very accurate.
Yeah.
I rarely know what's happening. No, it's funny you said that because I just got the paperwork to send it to get mastered by these legends in LA. And they're like, "Okay, what's the fucking name of the record? What the fuck order are the songs in? Like, dipshit, let's go." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah. Time to buckle down.
It's gonna just be something. So who gives a fuck? I just care about the songs so much.
God, that'd be a good name. Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck? It should be called 15 months because that's how long it's been. Yeah, that's how fucking long it's been. I don't know.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, I just had a lot of fun doing it and was like, it's the first time I've done a record where it really was like, oh, that's a real thing. Like,
love it.
We really like each song was like, this has to be the best version of the song. It can't just be like the way you've been playing it. You know 100%, what I mean?
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, can't wait to fucking hear it. Dude, also, January, my birthday's January 28th. You need to do a little 28th.
Mine's the 22nd.
Get the fuck out. What up, dog?
And then there's like some of my closest friends here are all right there. Like, so we actually thought about going out of town because it's that close. Like,
you let me know.
It's like Feb 1st, I believe, is my buddy Tate's, and then Jacob Allen Jaeger. You know?
Yeah, I know Jacob.
His is in January, late.
Trying to get his ass on this too, but he's moving house. So
yeah, I'm actually like going out there soon to go check it out.
Cool.
Yeah, he's the man. Get him here.
Well, sweet, man. Maybe we'll have to wrangle everybody together for a little promo concert, and we'll just have a ball.
That's amazing. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea, man. Yeah, especially because everyone's so good, man.
Consider this the invite.
Thank you, brother. Again, this is really awesome. It's great, man. I'm stoked for you.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for checking this out. We're gonna finish eating this food and get his ass to a corporate gig. get him paid because somebody's broke. So, well, thank you, man. I really can't thank you enough. This is fucking awesome, man.
Yeah,
appreciate
it. It is, dude. It is.
I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Yeah, we had good barbecue. We talked a lot of trash about this, that, and the other. And what a good time. If you enjoyed that, please do me a favor. Subscribe on YouTube. It really helps me out. Lets me know you guys are out there and you guys care. But yeah, check in with us next time. We have another good friend of ours, Mr. Danny Golden. Another amazing songs. We have a similar haircut. You'll hear about that. And yeah, can't wait to share with you. See you next week. Oh, also next week is the first inaugural spot of the home studio. That's where I'm at right now doing these intros. But next week, you get to see the whole episode done there. So come and join us, hang out, and let me know what you guys think. Comment below and tell me what you guys are thinking. All right, see you next week. Bye.